Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Eun-gyo, also known as Muse, a Korean movie from 2012. Lee Jeok-yo, played by Park Hae-il, is a respected national poet who is in his 70s in terms of age. His 30-something assistant, played by Kim Mu-yeol, recently published his first book, described as a genre novel with psychological insight, and it has shot to the top of the bestseller list. Finding a young high school girl, Eungyo, played by Kim Go-eun, asleep on his porch one day, Jeok-yo, instantly enamored, agrees to give her a part-time job cleaning his home. As he spends more time in Eunyo's company, long-lost feelings are awakened within him, and her exuberance, sense of fun, and genuine warmth towards him make him see himself as the young man he used to be. Now, the premise of this movie is, by its very nature, somewhat controversial. I mean, we have like a 50-year age gap between our male protagonist and his muse. And there's an aura of sensuality present. However, it's not like they're dating or anything, and the old man's interests in the girl, which are implicitly driven by her sensuality, are expressed in classy and non-exploitative ways. That's how I would kind of describe it. So the focus of Eungyo is how this girl kind of reinvigorates this old man poet's sense of youthfulness and vitality. And the opening moments kind of show the blandness of this dude's life, which is essentially lifeless. I mean, you just look at what he's eating. I mean, he's eating like leftover rice and kimchi for dinner, which in and of itself isn't a problem, but I mean, the way they show it, like there's only a little bit left, the food looks days old, there's nothing vibrant there. They even show a very brief glimpse of his nether regions, which seems to have shriveled back into his groin. So, yeah, he lives a very lethargic existence until he meets his new muse, who motivates him to write a brand new piece of literature that rivals his best work from his younger years. Now, with all that said, the movie still kind of rides that line of being a little bit dicey, but I think it handles the subject matter quite nicely, actually. The relationships in the story unfold in some unexpected ways. There are some plot developments involving the man's assistant as well, which become quite important. And that ties into like the main themes of the film. There's also quite a bit of focus on like the literature aspect of things, which I thought was pretty interesting. Direction here is very good. There's a lot of like sensory shots that expresses like the sights, the sounds, the scents, and the feelings of youth. Some nice natural environments in the woodland area, nice use of sunlight, and the director here is a man by the name of Jung Ji-woo, who previously gave us Happy End, which I reviewed on this channel. Happy End is actually edgier. I would say a lot edgier than Eungyo is, so if you were fine with that movie, you'll be fine with this one. Performances are very strong, in a very bizarre casting choice. 35-year-old Park Hae-il plays the 70-year-old man in this. And the director had like a very specific quote explaining the situation. He said, quote, "This movie deals with what it's like to age and what it's like to want something when you've lost your youth. So I thought the theme would be delivered more effectively when such a role is given to an actor who is much younger," unquote. So from a logical standpoint, that makes sense. And the makeup effects are good enough in my opinion. Maybe a little bit distracting early on, especially if you are familiar with the actor who's playing this old man. But I rarely thought about it after like the opening few minutes because the character interaction was engrossing. Another very notable casting choice is Kim Go-eun, who had never appeared in a film or TV show before this. And as a debut performance, she does quite well in this. I like her quite a bit overall as an actress. In recent years, she's gone heavy into television series. So I've gotten behind on her recent works because you need a larger time investment to get through a K-drama than you do a movie. But I will catch up eventually. There is some nudity, and there is one fairly graphic sex scene, but it's not what you would expect given the premise. And I'll leave it at that. So Eungyo is like a pretty impressive movie, and I definitely recommend it. I mean, if the plot synopsis that I gave you like really puts you off, maybe skip it. But other than that, check it out. I think it's actually a very good movie. In terms of availability, I did kind of screw up on this one because I usually don't like doing separate reviews of films that are tough to find. I do have the Region 3 DVD in my collection, and like a few weeks ago, I saw that it was on Bilibili streaming. However, when I double-checked availability just a few minutes ago before recording this, I noticed that it's no longer on Bilibili. So availability of this one's actually pretty difficult. Your only choice, possibly, you may be able to find it on one of those Korean drama sites, streaming sites that are not entirely legitimate. But if you can't find it anywhere else, I say that's fair game. All right, so if this sounds interesting to you, give it a go. I like this movie. And as always, I will see you next time.